What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at some more I Do Work Here Lady stories. New executive assistant doesn't realize I'm one of the founders. About 10 years ago, my friends and I started our own startup. I was the CMO or chief marketing officer at the time. Within 2 years, we had over 100 employees and were still growing. Between me, the CEO, CTO, and COO, there were 2 executive assistants helping us. However, they were getting overworked and pulling 12+ hour days because of us. So we decided to hire 2 more assistants so that each of us would have one. One of the new exec assistants was assigned to the CEO. We'll call her Karen. For some reason, Karen thought she was in charge of the other exec assistants because she was under the CEO. Technically, they were all peers, but Karen assumed she had seniority. Within a week, she was bossing all of the assistants around and making them do her work. I was out of town at the time, but my assistant, a lady that was with us for the longest, let me know what was going on. I had just come back from a week at a conference. I was meaning to take that Monday off, but we had a meeting that Monday with our investors and I couldn't miss it. I show up at the office around 8:30 a.m. coming in from the gym. I greet a few people. I go over to my desk to drop off my bags and then change. As I head to the bathroom, Karen comes around the corner. Now there is one thing you need to know about me. I have a baby face, so I look at least 10 years younger than I really am. I was in my early 30s at the time, but I looked like I could have graduated university that year. So Karen says, "Can I help you?" "Hi, yes, you must be Karen." "Yes, I am. And you are?" "Well, I am OP." "You are OP? Don't be ridiculous, kid. You're barely old enough to rent a car. Tell me what you're doing here before I call for security." "Karen, I am OP, the CMO of this company." "I know who the CMO is, and he is not you. He is a personal friend of mine, and I know the entire founding team for quite some time, so you can't lie to me. Show me your ID." My ID was back at my desk. "Fine, follow me." As we head over to my desk, I reach for my wallet, and Karen snatches it before I can even open it. "I don't think so. Trying to steal OP's wallet? I'm gonna have you arrested, you little brat." Just then, the CEO walks in. "CEO, you won't believe what just happened. I caught this crazy person pretending to be the CMO and stealing from his desk." The CEO looks over at me and I just give him a "yes, this is happening" look. "Can you tell me exactly what happened?" Karen goes on a long rant about how I broke in here and was looking around all the desks for something to take when she finally caught me looking through the wallet. The CEO asked Karen to check to make sure nothing is missing from the CMO's my wallet. She opens it up and on the front is my driver's license. I can see her pupils scanning my ID and her eyes getting wider and wider and then her mouth drops. "So, can I have my wallet back now?" Karen dang near throws my wallet at me and walks away as fast as she could, just shy of running. The CEO and I break into a huge laugh and we chat a bit about Karen. It turns out everyone has been complaining about her. At first, the CEO was just going to reprimand her and tell her she needs to change, but after the debacle this morning, he wanted to let her go. I felt kind of bad. I didn't want her fired because of me. I didn't want to be known as that person. We ended up letting her stay for another week. She avoided me like the plague, but kept making everyone else's lives miserable. We let her go that Friday. However, as they say, she did not go quietly into that good night. After the CEO gave her the bad news, she was annoyed and came straight to me. She ripped my headphones off and started screaming at me about how it was an honest mistake what happened between us and how the place would fall apart without her around. The Karen scream is long and fierce, but at around 2 minutes I had had enough. That is enough out of you. Regardless of what your feeble mind thinks, your departure from this company was not my doing, but it was the icing on the cake. Dang near everyone doesn't like you, and you've been bossing way too many people around when you have no authority over them. The other assistants do not report to you, and I've heard nothing but complaints about you in the 2 weeks you have been here. Now, you can either walk out of here peacefully, or I can get security to do it. Karen was bright red, and the entire office was watching us. My assistant comes over with Karen's purse and her belongings, and then shoves them in Karen's arms. As Karen walks out, she yells back that we'll be hearing from her lawyer. We didn't hear anything. Wow, what a surprise. Oh, what a story. This is so entertaining. I just wish with stories like these that I could have been there when that moment happened. She's looking through your wallet, sees your ID and thinks, "Oh snap, I have absolutely effed it." What would have been more satisfying is if the CEO, instead of having her open your wallet, had asked another nearby employee to call security. Then you'd get a few minutes of Karen looking all smug about getting you thrown out. But then you'd get to watch her face when the CEO tells security to escort her from from the building. Yeah, that may be a little bit too harsh, but imagine how funny that would have been. Moving on to our second story now. Power-hungry employee doesn't know I am the owner. I once owned a computer store with one of my best friends. As we started to grow, we found it was becoming more and more difficult to handle all the in-store repairs as well as out-of-store work that we had coming in. We decided we needed someone for the front counter. Unfortunately, I went on vacation when my partner had hired her. Not that this was a problem, as we knew what we needed and I knew we could find someone. When I returned from vacation, I had some out-of-town work that needed to be done with a high-dollar client. This work took another 2 weeks, so I had not had the chance to meet the new employee. The first day back just happened to be the same day my partner started his vacation. I walk in. "Hi, you must be Power Maid Lady." What a name. But the lady cuts me off. "I don't care who you are. What can I help you with? I don't see you with a computer. What are you looking for?" "Excuse me? You should be. What do you need? I have a lot to do to open the store." "Sorry, I don't think you understand who I am." "Ugh, you're no one important." "Oh, really? You do know I could have you unemployed in 1 hour?" "Oh yeah, whatever. I personally know the owner. He hired me personally. I doubt he would fire me. Get out of the store before I call the cops." "I doubt he would want you to treat people like trash, but yeah, that's a good idea. Let's call the cops." "Okay, here I go. I'm calling them." "Great." I pull out my cell phone and call my partner. "Hey, I know you just started your vacation, dude, but I think we have an employee problem. Power Mad Lady was very rude when I walked in this morning. I attempted to tell her who I was, but she wouldn't let me get that far. Now she's calling the cops to have me removed. Yeah, I can hand you over. 1 sec." "Oh, who is this? Someone who's playing the part of the owner now? I know what he sounds like." I hand her the phone. She now has 2 phones to her head. My cell and the office phone, which may or may not have the police on the line. I still don't think she ever called the police. I hear him lighting into her. I couldn't hear the conversation, however, I did ask him later. Here is the basics. I basically told her I'm tired of her holier-than-thou attitude, and if she can't accept people coming into the store and interrupting her, she is not cut out to work in the store anymore. I told her that she just told the other owner of the store he's not welcome. Pack your stuff up and she would no longer be needed. She hangs up the office phone and hands my cell phone back to me with tears in her eyes. "You want me to work up some termination paperwork?" "Yeah, let me know how it turns out. I have a stack of applications on my desk. I'll see you in a week." "PMB, you got your paycheck Friday, correct?" She nods. "Yes." "Awesome. I owe you about $5 for the 30 minutes you wasted today." I take 10 minutes to type up the reason for terminal, all while she sits in a chair bawling like a 2-year-old. "Thanks, and don't let the door smack your butt on the way out." I walk over to the register, put out a 5 and point her towards the door. We never saw her again. See, again with this story, I wish she had actually called the police. That would have been insane. Imagine if she had called the police and then they had come and arrested her. That would have been unbelievable. But to be honest, she treats people like rubbish and then seems surprised when she's fired. Like, come on lady, if you treat people badly, you're not going to be working at that place for very long. Dry your tears, get out. Now for our final story. I'm not a student, I'm actually a Nope, off to detention with you. I've recently started out as a teacher. I was 27 when I had my first teaching job. I did some other stuff before, and of course, as the newbie, not everyone working at that school knew me at the time. I look a bit younger than my age, and I usually wear a pair of jeans and a nice blouse/shirt. I was working there for a bit over a month when I was walking through the hallways of the school during class hours, picking up some paperwork and heading to the teacher's room as I had a free period. An older man, I guess in his 40s, stopped me looking kinda angry. "Excuse me, young lady, where do you think you're going? Why aren't you in class?" I'm not actually a student, but I'm a..." "Like heck you are. I've seen you walking around with the older kids. Go to your class immediately." "Sir, I'm really not a student, but I'm actually a teacher. I'm new here, so you probably haven't seen me, but..." "Stop your lying. Go report to the office immediately. I will make sure your parents hear of this, and don't think I won't be looking for you in detention tomorrow." I go to the office as I needed to go there anyway to ask something, and because this guy was way taller than me and looking really angry. My colleagues in the office said, "What happened to you?" "I got sent here because I was outside during class hours. Also, could you call my parents because a man expects me in detention tomorrow." My colleagues basically died of laughter right there, and because there's usually more than one teacher keeping an eye out during detention, and thus I couldn't tell them who of the 2 males that were actually scheduled for detention the next day had given me detention, they actually sent me to detention the next day. You'll see in a bit why. I took some grading work with me. The unknown man who sent me to detention was looking smug as anything when he saw me sitting in detention. After a few minutes, one of my colleagues from the office came in and, in the most theatrical voice you can imagine, introduced me as their new colleague. And wasn't I a dear for coming into detention while busy grading papers in order to help them out with unruly students just roaming the hallways during class hours. You should have seen the guy's face. Priceless. For some reason, he never sat at my table during lunch. See, these are the stories that you love to see on this subreddit, when the guy that's accused you of not working there has to face the fact that actually you do work there. Honestly, this story would not be out of place on r/older than you think I am, another subreddit that I'm really enjoying at the moment. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/IDOWorkHereLady. I really hope you've enjoyed. If you have and you haven't seen my previous 2 episodes, they're both on screen right now, so click any of them that you haven't seen yet. With that being said, remember to like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe for 2 videos each and every day on my channel.